Hey everyone, I'm Adam Baldwin, a product manager here at PlanHub, and today I'll be taking you through the latest and greatest on the subcontractor side of the PlanHub network. Now, together we'll walk through how to find projects, what to do with the great projects you find, and how to use PlanHub in your bid management process. Let's say I'm the owner of a drywall installation company that joined PlanHub to help grow my business and stabilize my sales pipeline. The first thing I'm going to want to do is set up PlanHub to find the best projects specifically for my company. We can use the advanced filters to help us narrow down the project list to just the things we care about. So in our example, where we're a drywall installer, we can come into the trades and subtrades, search drywall, and get some recommended options. We're going to go ahead and select drywall installation, which best matches our company's primary revenue. States and regions was actually pre-populated for us based off what we set up in registration. So that comes out of the box. That's great. And in this example, let's also say that we have multiple locations. So since I'm the company owner and I'm primarily working out of the headquarters, I'm going to go ahead and narrow my search down to the headquarters zip code, extend that out to 75 miles. And there we go. We just brought our project list down from 900 down to 279, which should better match the types of projects I'm looking for around the headquarters territory. So I'm pretty happy with this result, so I'm going to go ahead and save these filters. And now every time I load the project list will automatically be filtered down by these parameters. So this will be a great start to setting up PlanHub to work for me to find the types of projects that I'm interested in. Now, if you need to perform a more specific search, you can actually use the search tool at the top here. If you know the exact project name, you can search for that. Or if you have a more niche search term or keyword search, this tool actually searches within the entirety of the project files in the PlanHub database. So an extremely powerful tool. So let's just imagine I am something more niche like steel joists. I can search by that and find the projects that have steel joists listed within the project files, and it actually tells me where in the documents to find this. Pretty amazing tool. Okay, getting back to our drywall installation example. So I'm going to come down here and look through my project list, and I can get a quick overview of what each project contains in the list by clicking on it and viewing the quick preview here. Once I find one that's interesting, I can click into the view project details to take a deeper dive into the project. Now we can go into the key details of the project, see the trades being requested on the project, and most importantly, take a look at the project files themselves. So if remember, here's that powerful keyword search again. So I'll go ahead and search for our drywall, and this tells me the exact pages within the project files that drywall appears on, keeps me from having to manually hunt through the project files themselves, and I can find the key pages that I just need to navigate to. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the project files, which opens up a nice preview right in the browser and lets me further on my assessment of the project. Another great feature within the project details page, we've got a team activity section that tells me what's been going on with my team on the project, which we'll loop back to later in the video. And then we also have another premier feature here in the competitive advantage widget, which gives me a bird's eye view of the activity by other subcontractors in the network and gives me an idea of how competitive this project is. Last thing to touch on here is the general contractors widget. This lets me see some key information of the general contractor that posted the project. So going back to our story, we can say that this is a GC that's been very active in my local network and someone I definitely want to build a relationship with. So given that, I'm going to go ahead and save this project. Now that we found an interesting project worth investing further time into, let's look at how PlanHub can help us manage our bid pipeline, estimate the project, and create a professional looking bid. That brings us to our next premier feature, Bid Planner. So as we can see, the project we were just reviewing is at the top of the list here in the Save Bidding tab in Bid Planner. And that's because Bid Planner is exclusively populated by the projects that you've saved throughout the platform. And the idea here is for Bid Planner to be your team's high-level overview of your bid management pipeline. So we've built a nice workflow for you all here to keep an eye on the different states that a project can be within. So save bidding is the first state. This is a curated list of projects that you and your team have found interesting, and potentially worth creating a bid for. You've got an in progress tab to represent projects that you've started the bid process on. Bid submitted to represent the projects that you've actually submitted a bid for. GC awarded for projects where the GC that you submitted the bid to has been awarded. One to represent the projects that you've been awarded the bid, and then not awarded for you to keep a list of the projects that you did not receive the award for. All right, let's switch gears for a second and imagine I'm now the team estimator and I'm logging in to PlanHub to start my day, and I'm coming right to Bid Planner because this is my bird's eye view of everything that's going on in the company. So I see that the company owner, Red, has just found a new interesting project that he added to our saved and bidding list. So I'm going to want to take this one on and start the estimation process. So I'm going to go ahead in here and assign the project to myself. That lets everyone in the company know that I've taken this project so we don't have duplicate work. I'm going to move this status to in progress. And now we can see that the project is in the in progress tab. All right, so now let's dive in and start the estimation process. So now I'm going to start the estimation process by going back down to the project files. And within the project files, I have a link out to our other Premiere feature, the TakeOff Light tool, which I can access by double-clicking here. The TakeOff tool then opens up and does a great job of breaking out each page as a thumbnail so I can quickly find where the floor plans are. So in this simplistic example, we're just going to say that I'm creating a bid specifically for this office section of the plans. So the first thing I'm going to do here is find the scale of the project. I'm going to go ahead and take off, set my scale accordingly. Then I'm going to go back up to the office section. And I'm going to use the area tool, take a quick measurement. And then there we have it. I have a quick estimation to start my bid process with. Now the TakeOff tool has a ton of other features to help you build a digital takeoff, but I would highly recommend watching the TakeOff specific video in our knowledge base to get into deeper detail here about all the amazing features within TakeOff. Okay, now let's use this simplified example to start drafting our bid. So we're going to go back to the project details page, and we're going to open up the place bid modal. Now this initial state of the bid modal is great if you've already created your bid externally and you just want to come in here, put in the trades, the amount, and the GC you're submitting the bid to, and then upload your external bid. However, we also have a newer feature called Bid Builder that will allow you to build a professional looking bid directly in the PlanHub platform itself. So now we can start building our bid using the measurements we just took from the TakeOff tool. And Bid Builder uses CSI codes. So I'm going to start with the parent CSI code of finishes. Going to add that, and I'm going to start building a materials line item for the drywall for the ceiling area that we just took the measurement for in the TakeOff tool. So I'm also going to pull up the gypsum board CSI code, call out that this was for ceiling area. It's a taxable item. Quantity was approximately 81 square feet. Just throw in a unit price here. And we have our first line item ready to go. have our tax rate set, and we get a nice total of the current line item. And if we were to continue, had we completed the entirety of our bid, we're taken to this next screen where we can select the GC that we want to submit the bid to. We can add any attachments that we would want to include in the bid. And we also get this really nice preview of what the bid will look like, which is populated from the information we have in our My Company page profile with the bid due date, the name of the project, and then there's that line item we just built. So a really nice, clean way to create a bid in PlanHub. So we're going to save this for now and come back to it later as we continue our research. Now, if during your evaluation you come across any questions that you want to post to the GC, you can always come back to the project details page here and go down to the Request for Information Center and post an RFI either publicly or privately, and the GC can respond directly to you within this area of the project. Additionally, if you come across the need for any material estimates throughout your evaluation, you can also come down to the material estimates section within the project and send a request out to any of the suppliers on the PlanHub network. Now let's loop back to that team activity widget we mentioned earlier in the video. So now that the project's been assigned to myself, we can see that my name is here. This is another mechanism to let other team members know that someone is already working on the project. Similarly, if a team member has submitted a bid or submitted pre-qualifications, we'll also see a log entry here, which is yet another way we can see our fellow team members' activity in the platform. Okay, so we have a bid in a draft state, and we don't want to forget to complete that by the bid due date. So let's loop back to Bid Planner briefly. And from here, we can actually go out to another premier feature, which is Bid Calendar. And we can see that on the bid due date for the project we started drafting our bid for, we can actually export that out to our calendar. And this gives us another nice supplementary reminder to have our bid completed for the bid due date. So one final consideration before submitting your bid is putting your best foot forward with your company profile in your My Company page. Now, this information appears on the GC side of the platform and is a great way to stand out from the crowd. This also includes filling out your pre-qualification form, which once you fill out all 8 sections, you will earn a PlanHub Preferred badge shown here in the avatar, which is also displayed on your company profile on the GC directory. Now, the last feature we should touch on today is our Imported Projects feature. The Imported Projects feature lets you take a project that isn't currently on the PlanHub network and bring it into your project pipeline. Now, the important distinction here is that this project will only live at your company level and won't be visible to the entirety of the PlanHub network. You can import a project in one of 2 ways. You can either forward an external ITB to your custom PlanHub email address here, or you can manually enter the information and create a project that way. Now, imported projects are given a different label in Bid Planner, so you can make a distinction between projects that are native to PlanHub and projects that you imported yourself. That covers the latest and greatest features of PlanHub for subcontractors. We offer a 21-day free trial so you can try all the features you saw today for yourself. And if you need help with anything, please schedule a session with our amazing customer support team, and they'll get you set up for success. Good luck and happy bidding.